shooting this on Valentine's Day 2018. It should be a day when we're celebrating love in all its forms, romantic and otherwise. And yet for some young girls, they won't really have this experience. What instead is likely to be their lot is a very violent, very brutal, very painful incision, sometimes removal of a very delicate part of their body, followed by a ceremony that actually allows them to get married or to have sex from anywhere from the age of 9 to 15, sometimes even younger, sometimes even 6. Think about it. If you've got a 6-year-old or you know a 6-year-old, and if you are like me, your head is screaming, this is pedophilia. Yet it isn't. In some communities, this is culture, and it's still being practiced in 2018. Plan International is one of the organizations that works to end FGM and to end child marriages. Child marriages. There's an oxymoron if you ever heard one. Child marriage. And yet this is what it is. And in studio, I have the privilege this morning of being with Mercy Chege, first, the Director of Programs at Plan International, and Faith Mpoke, who is a project coordinator in Kajiado. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Who benefits, Mercy, from the continuation of a practice like FGM? Because it's so persistent in our communities.
I think there are several sections of the community that benefit, and I would say starting from an economic perspective, you have you have the circumcisers themselves. Circumcision is an income generating activity, and it's very lucrative in some areas. We talked to one of the circumcisers the reformed circumcisers that now we are working with, and she says that when she was a circumciser, she would charge like 6,000 per girl. So in December, when you have the climax of the circumcision for girls, and for boys in most communities, you'll find that she would make a lot of money, even up to 100,000, enough to last to pay school fees for her children and do whatever it is that she wants and live a good life. So it's an economic activity. There are people who benefit from that. From a social perspective, there is the man who feels like I am getting married to a circumcised woman that and I hold the decision that I cannot marry an uncircumcised woman, so I am in control here. So that is another beneficiary. And then you of course have a whole community that have decided this is the way that we need to go, and for us to keep our social status, this is the way we've got to go. Unfortunately, I also have to say the mothers who take a sense of pride and who benefit from social status in the society for having mature, in quotes, girls in their families. Any mother who has an uncircumcised girl is she will start the scorn of the women when they go to the river, when they go to the market, when they go to work, when they sit together in a gathering. Your girls are not circumcised. And there are all sorts of names in different communities, very, very derogative terms to refer to girls who have not been circumcised. And women do not enjoy a very good social status if one of your girls or many of your girls are associated with not having gone through FGM. So there is a social part of it, and there is also an economic part of it.
Faith, you're on the ground presently in Kajiado, and some of the girls who you meet are very young. Is there no age limit? We already have a constitution that says that any person under 18 is a child. Within the communities, do they themselves not have an age limit below which it is unconscionable to marry a child?
In the past, girls used to go through FGM when they were mature enough, 15 years and above. But these days, the trend has changed. Reason being, there is a lot of sensitization at the community level. We have the Anti-FGM Act that now prohibits the practice. So the communities are also changing tact. So now they want to do it early, circumcise their girls early before the girls get to know that this is wrong and it should not be happening. And once you have gone through FGM, you're already an adult. So you can engage freely, and the risk of undergoing FGM when you're still very young, then you can get pregnant. And once you get pregnant, as young as you are, then you have to get married. In most cases, most of the girls have to go for marriage when they're still very young. So it's because of the changing times, then the communities are also changing tact. They even do it in secrecy so that nobody gets to know that it is happening. So for them, they just have to fulfill their cultural practices no matter what.
You go ahead, Mercy.
Yeah, I want to add something to what my colleague has said, and there is what we are calling emerging trends in FGM. That because of the law and the vigilance from the communities, from NGOs like Plan International, and sometimes even from government, you find that FGM is going underground, which is a very dangerous trend. Going underground in the sense that girls are going through FGM when they are not even a year old. So you will never know what is happening to you, and it will be done in hospital. You will only know that there's something wrong with you if someone ever points it out. Or if at the age of 7, 8 and on to teenage, somebody asks you, have you ever gone through FGM? You know, if you're not, this is, and then you start asking questions. You know, kids are very curious. So how do I know that I have not gone through it? Let's check. That's how they know that they went through FGM. They will never know when they did. And the other thread that is very prevalent right now is that there are women who might have escaped FGM because they come from elite families, their parents did not support that, or even if they come from very humble families, the parents valued education, valued their rights, and they never went through FGM. When they get married, and especially in some of the communities, there is collusion between the midwives and the mothers-in-law. Please don't let her leave the hospital until she is cut. Those are the threads. So there is no age nowadays. As early as less than a year, as old as 50 years. That's what is happening.